Who's having a good time at the show? Is everyone remodeling, decorating? We looking for furniture? Kitchens? Patio? A little bit of everything? Knock it down, build it again? All right, well, you're not here to listen to me, but we have a couple of special people that you're probably all excited to meet, hear what they have to say, hear the trends, hear their stories, how they got in it, and everything else. So I'm going to stop speaking, and I'm going to invite the one, the only, the pair, husband and wife, Mika and Brian Kleinschmidt of HGTV's 100-Day Dream Home.
Why do I feel like we're walking down the wedding aisle again? Come on.
Oh, we never really did. We have all.
Fort Lauderdale gives us the red carpet treatment?
There's only one way.
Boom. What's up, buddy?
Absolutely. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
Standing room only? Wow.
There's maybe one or two chairs if anybody
Come on up
needs a
front.
chair.
Come on up front.
My palms, they got a little sweaty.
All right. Is this like the same as being on TV?
No, this is much more intimidating. Live audience is a little bit more intimidating. In a good way.
Yeah, because when I mess up, which happens a lot, when we're filming, we just do it over and over and over. So, no, hey, it's so good to be here. Fellow Floridians, right? We're from Tampa. We made the trip down today, and it is so good to be here. I will say it's a lot colder down here than it is in Tampa.
Just today.
Freezing.
Just today.
We're not used to this, but it's nice. Everyone's indoors. Weather's not as nice outside today, but it's perfect for this. I can't thank you guys enough. How's the chair feel? Is it comfortable?
Feels good.
It's from Converto Home. It's nice.
Don't break it. Hey, if we break it, we buy it. Look,
That's right.
I love a good swivel.
it's $598 if you break that thing.
All right. Well, I don't know who wants to take it first, but we want to have an idea.
Well, it depends.
So we know you guys, HGTV's 100-Day Dream Home, but let's go a little further back to start. How did you guys meet?
How far back do you want to go? All right, so Mika and I actually met in high school in girls' chorus class. Now you wonder, what am I doing in girls' chorus class, right? My schedule was messed up, and I remember my guidance counselor saying, Brian, just be patient with us. We're going to get your schedule fixed. I said, I'm good. Take your time. I said, I'll sing soprano for the whole semester. But I could talk to any girl in high school except for her. I got so tongue-tied. In fact, I wanted to go to homecoming with Mika. I was too shy to ask her, so my buddy Mike Copeland asked her to homecoming on my behalf, and this is the answer he got.
Well, I said no because you didn't ask me yourself. I feel like, come on now. So yes, we did not, we were not dating in high school, but we definitely were friends, and that's where the journey kind of started.
I dated her in high school. I will say that. No, but thinking back all these years, we graduated high school in 2000. She sat behind me in world history class, and I used to give her treats during class, lollipops, right? And when the lunch bell rang, we used to race to lunch because we were competitive with each other. We still are. But no, after high school graduation, we kind of lost track of each other, and then you want to fast forward 10 years when we reconnected?
Yeah, so we actually reconnected 10 years after high school, and basically a couple months after we reconnected, we started our own gym business together. So it was like really quick. And so we've been working together as a team way before the HGTV thing kind of even started. I think that was, looking back, maybe that was a good trial as far as like, can we work together? Because it's definitely challenging working with your significant other.
We used to own some Anytime Fitness gyms, and we actually had one in the Fort Lauderdale area, so we used to come down here all the time for work. But yeah, I was opening my first Anytime Fitness, and she was managing the competitor gym up the street. And I was kind of secret shopping the competition, and I said, oh my God, are you Mika from high school?
That was here in Fort Lauderdale?
That was up in Tampa.
Oh, that was in Tampa.
But we expanded. We did 3 gyms in Tampa and then 1 down in Parkland.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Amazing. And so, obviously, you were in gyms for a while. Probably had a beautiful gym. You had a little background. Yeah, I'm sure.
That was kind of where the design started, but it was totally different than what we're doing now.
Without a doubt. So how did it start? I know, because obviously you guys got into real estate.
Yeah.
And then you got into building homes.
It was a little bit of, been, I think, doing the Anytime Fitness for like 9 or 10 years. So I kind of needed something a little bit different. And so I got my real estate license and started just kind of dabbling in real estate. But we actually ended up partnering with a builder in like the St. Pete area. And we started off as investors. We would buy vacant lots and like build spec homes and like sell them on the back end. And we were doing them very quickly because it's a little different doing a spec when you can choose everything. You don't have to wait on a customer to make a decision. There's no change orders because we pretty much designed it. That's kind of how we got started with that.
Has anyone here ever built a house? Just raise your hands if you've built a house. I know we're all remodeling, but build. So it's a challenge, right? I mean, everything's a challenge. It's intimidating.
Oh, yeah. And, I mean, I fell in love with building at a young age. I mean, my grandfather built his house by hand, still standing today. My dad is a builder, so I kind of learned the trade, and I always loved helping out. But in college, I went to UCF, and I did a lot with Habitat for Humanity, and that's when I really fell in love with that. And it was interesting because that's not what I was going to school for. But that's what I love to do. So I lived in Nashville during those 10 years we were together. I used to flip homes up in Nashville, and I did really well. And then I got greedy, and I flipped 3 homes at the same time. And 2007 and 8 hit, and I lost everything. I mean, I remember I left Nashville with $17 in my account. But it taught me a lesson because I was just focused on the profits and not necessarily the people that were going to be living there or transforming neighborhoods. So I think life taught me a lesson there where, now we focus on the people. And our customers and transforming, and then the profits come later, always. But yeah, so our very first project together, we actually flipped a house. We sold our first gym for a profit, and I said, man, that part of life defeated me back in Nashville. I want to get back at it. So we flipped a house, and after that, we realized no more flipping, just new construction. Too many unexpected variables with flipping. We like building new. The controlled costs are much better. So.
In talking about construction in Florida, but South Florida, same. I mean, you guys deal with the same thing in the Tampa area. Watching HGTV, there's a lot of shows out there. We see a $150,000 budget to remodel a mansion. It's not quite realistic. Yeah. Permits, things like that. That's different to Florida. What is it like to build in Florida in general?
So I think with us, what's unique, there's not a lot of HGTV shows that show building from the ground up. 95% are renovation. But the other aspect is Brian and I, our angle is we're helping the customers and we're kind of with them through the process, but ultimately it's their dream home. It's a real transaction. It's a real client. The house is not free. It's, they're paying for it. And I think, like Brian was saying, it's kind of showing the story of like what the process is like and what kind of hiccups you come up on, not making decisions or change orders, things taking forever. Our first season was pre-pandemic, right? So there's been a lot of challenges for season 2, 3, and now 4 that we've kind of like, gotten used to like ordering things super early and just making decisions very, very quickly. So it's been a learning process. Every single house is different and every single story is different.
What's super interesting, we're filming season 4 right now, which that'll be coming very soon.
Let's give that a round of applause. Hold on, that.
Should we tell them when it premieres? Cinco de Mayo.
So you could party, just have our show on in the back.
That's really weird that these two are watching me the whole time.
Oh, wow.
I had the worst sunburn in that picture, by the way.
That's okay.
Or Mika was just making me blush.
We're from Florida.
But what I think is so interesting is we watch back, the marathon reruns that they show season 1, and we see in the last 3 years how much the price of construction and land has gone up. So people watch the shows and they call us up and they say, hey, I want that same house, the lot for $350,000. I was like, that was season 1.
Yeah, that was 6 years ago.
I'm like, times have changed quite a bit, but for the better.
Absolutely. And talking about the show, how did the show come up? Where did it come from? How did HGTV find you? Or you?
The short version. We'll have to go rabbit hole.
It's a long journey. Yeah. I always say the shortest answer is a little bit of luck and a lot of hard work. But in essence, there was a connection that I made at my first job out of college. And John Olson, you're not here by chance, are you? John said he was coming. Anyways, it was my boss at the time. And I think he's coming tomorrow. It's kind of funny how life comes full circle. But his wife at the time was an executive producer on TLC. Yeah, Say Yes to the Dress. And I was emceeing a show way back in the day, and they said, "You're really good on the mic."
They could have put you on that too, I guess, right?
They said, "Would you ever want to do anything in television?" I said, "No." I said, "I'm enjoying what I'm doing now." So that just kind of stopped. And I kept that relationship all those years, and then we stayed in touch. And they saw what we were doing. Like I said, we sold our first gym for a nice profit, got into real estate, and one thing led to another.
Oh, and yeah, as far as like the show process, man, it's a long, drawn out process. We actually, I don't know if I should tell them this, but we kind of lied about having to go on a trip to New York because we had started the conversation with the production company and we were waiting to hear back, right? And I was like, we sit around, we're going to be waiting for years and this is never going to happen. So I do have family in New York and we really did go visit them. But it was like, hey, we're actually in the city this week. Can we meet up? Like, it was almost like a forced meeting almost. A little bit, but I feel like if you have a dream and you really want it to happen, sometimes you do have to, you can't sit around and wait for somebody to knock on your door and give it to you. You got to go get it.
When you started and they started filming, was it all to expectations or was it just like, wait a second, what did we sign up for?
No, I think, you know what? We both have done musical theater. Like Brian has way more experience than I have, but I think TV, I don't know. I feel like it was just fun and natural, and it's just us being us. It's different. We're not trying to portray something that we're not, so it doesn't really feel like work.
And the thing is, it sounds weird, but after a while, you forget the cameras are even rolling. I mean, it sounds crazy, but you do. You just forget, and that's what they like. They want to follow the natural process, so it feels more real. But yeah, the show has kind of transitioned over the years. Anybody watch it from the very beginning? Really? I'm going to put you on the spot. What was the original name of the show?
Did it ever air that?
Yeah, it did. What? No. The original name of the show was 90 Day Dream Home. All right. You guys want to know why it changed? It wasn't because we couldn't do it in 90 days. We actually were. But there was a show on TLC, which is a sister network of HGTV. They have a show called 90 Day Fiancé. And they didn't want any confusion from 90 Day Fiancé to 90 Day Dream Home. But I will rewind even more. Before 90 Day, we originally got pitched to the network because we did one spec house in 63 days, legitimately. They wanted to call the show 60 Day Dream Home, and Mika and I are like, no.
That's kind of, it's reminding me like, that 6-minute abs, 10-minute abs, like.
But yeah, so it's a 100-day dream home, and we're sticking with that number. Now, I will tell you, people ask us all the time, we do not count permitting in that. Sometimes permitting takes longer. Sometimes that can take 100 days. But we do have expediters on our teams that help out with that process. But we start that clock on day one, and we have gone under 100 days, and you'll see this season, we actually go over 100 days. So it does happen.
And talking about, because you brought up permits, and that's something that we all experience going through the process. What can you say about permitting and just how it can affect a project? Because you guys have incredible timelines that you work with.
Oh, absolutely. So like Brian said, I mean, there are third-party companies that you can hire, and they're, it costs a little bit extra, but I think in the long run, the time savings is pretty significant. But there's not a magic ball where you're like, I'm going to be able to get the permit in hand to start your build. Like, that is out of our control. And I will tell you, most of the counties we work in do not care about HGTV shows. No. So
I call them all the time. I say, hey, this is Brian from HGTV. Can we push this one along? They said, we don't watch HGTV. Oh, thank you, ma'am. But no. So typically a project, we spend about $3,500 to get an expediter that kind of pushes the permit through. And then we also pay a little bit extra for inspectors. And $3,500 might sound like a lot, but time is money. And when you can expedite inspections, you'll be amazed at how quickly you can build a house. Because the thing is, typically you finish the work, you call in the inspection, you wait. If it passes or fails, you wait again. You could lose 2 weeks in between, trades coming in. So our inspectors, I call them up. They're there in a couple hours. And they say, you're good to go. Or, Brian, we need to fix this. Send us a picture once it's fixed, but you can keep going. And, over the course of 20, sometimes inspections, over the course of a build, you can save a ton of time.
As far as talking about, staying on time. Let's talk about budget. How do you stay on budget?
Well, I will tell
Because-
you right now, I'll tell people, first of all, you will and you won't. You always have to have a buffer because you're going to have a number in your head, and then you start making selections and you start seeing all these pretty samples. So I'm like, there's like a, and then you come to home shows, and I'm already trying to spend money. Like right before we were walking through here, I'm like, ooh, I want this. So no, but I mean, a lot of the times when I'm working with the clients on the design decisions, you know, we'll have a really detailed proposal, and it'll say, listen, in this, you know, price point, you have $250 per square foot for your, you know, flooring or whatever. And so I try not to show people things that I already know are going to blow the bank. I'm like, I don't even want to show you stuff that you're going to fall in love with. But I do try to prepare clients to, you know, have a little bit of a cushion, because there's certain areas that I think you might want to elevate the design, like your kitchen and your bathrooms, that kind of you get that return of investment over the course of the years, especially if you're going to be in the house for a while.
Absolutely. And there's also, when you're getting a quote, there's construction grade, and then there's also what the person might be envisioning.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And another thing we do, you know, we talk about spending a little bit extra money on the front end with expediters and, you know, inspectors, but we always make sure that we give a beautiful kind of 3D version of what the house is going to look like. Now, it's expensive on the front end, but you will save money in the long run. I mean, even when we built our house, I was the nerd that had the virtual reality goggles on, and I was walking through our house. But it's important because you can see the changes then, not during the process. And that's when it gets expensive, when you start having change orders. So if you have a solid game plan and you know exactly what the house is going to look like on the front end, you're going to save money.
Yeah, get things fit out.
Yeah, because the biggest thing for homeowners, I mean, most people can't envision what the home's actually going to look like. What tips can you give, other than obviously getting a rendering and being able to essentially see what it's going to look like? Are there other tips that you would recommend?
I think, like with anything in life, I'm a believer in a mood board or an inspiration board, because if somebody comes to me and they're just describing in words what they like, it's going to be really hard for me to put that together. So I typically say, man, go to Pinterest, go whatever, but I need to see visuals, because then when we're selecting, we're trying to get that overall vibe. It's not going to be exact, but a lot of the times they're trying to create a mood. And so that does help to have like kind of just some inspo photos. And you guys see on the show, we do inspiration tours, which is also really helpful.
Absolutely. And the thing is, like right now, you're all walking the show. You see so many products, services, things that you probably didn't even know that existed. So as contractors also, how do you put that vision to a reality? Like, how do you look at it?
I mean, it depends on how far-fetched the dream is. I think that, you know, there's always new and up-and-coming, like, materials. And, like, obviously we're seeing that walking around. With the show, because of our timeline, I will say we order a lot of things on the front end. So you are going to see, you know, there are certain things that we have to kind of reenact for the TV show that we actually have to order, like, in the very beginning.
And what are some of those products? Like, specific.
Back in the day, we would wait for a lot of stuff, but we order windows, right? Hey, there's Mark. There's our window guy from Lawson Windows. We've got Lawson Windows in our house. But yeah, when we go in for permitting, we put most of our orders in for block, for trusses, for windows. I mean, last year we were even putting appliance orders in. I mean, usually appliances take 2 or 3 weeks to come in. They were taking 5 or 6 months. So we were doing it at the permit process. But yeah, anything we can get on the front end, we order for sure.
Absolutely. And then going through, you know, when you're building a home and you have cameras on you and you've done a lot of projects for yourself, but also for other people. Do you have a favorite project that you guys went through?
Did everybody saw us build our house? Hey, Jade, that's our daughter, Jade. Jade, do you like your pool? Truth be told, I use the pool more than Jade does. And I didn't want a pool. But our house was definitely near and dear to our heart. But I think the house we are most proud of, I mean, we do a lot of shows off TV too. But the one I'm most proud of, I don't know if you agree, is the house we did for Rock the Block. Everybody watch Rock the Block? I was so proud of that house. And we didn't know what we were getting into with Rock the Block. They literally sent us a blueprint, and then they said, here's how much money you have. You guys can do whatever you want with the house. So we did, including a bowling alley. But no, that Rock the Block was a fun house.
Yeah, it was.
Was there anything on any projects that you were like, wow, that was a bad idea?
Ooh, I mean. So, well, with 100 Day, because it is ultimately the client's final decision, I have to bite my tongue sometimes. Well, it's kind of like, it's really what is their dream vision, right? And that's in their eyes, beauty in the eye of the beholder. So I'm not going to let somebody make a dumb decision like with a material that I know won't last or something like that. But if they like a certain color palette, okay. But yeah, no, I don't know if there's, I mean, Rock the Block, special project. Oh, you want to talk about that? Season 1?
Oh, yeah, tell us.
So season 1 of the show, special projects are something we do, and it's a surprise for the clients. Well, it was a combination of the producer at the time. They wanted to do this really cool, like high-end coffee bar type of deal built in with the cabinets. Well, the customer already had their vision and their layout of their cabinets. So the TV show went in and goes, we're going to do this. They're going to love it. So for the reveal, they played nice. But afterwards, we had to rip that out, completely redo the kitchen layout. And I was like, I told you guys so. So after that happened, moving forward every season, we basically, we don't tell them the special project, but we ask them for a wish list so we know it's going to be something they like. Because that was terrible.
That
What
was
was
a
their on-
$10,000 mistake for us.
Can you reenact their facial expression on that?
On camera or off camera?
Off.
Off camera. Oh my gosh, we love it so much. When can we change it? So I will tell you this. So we're currently filming season 4, and one of the most challenging builds we have ever done is the one we're doing right now. The family currently lives in South Korea. We have done the entire build remotely.
Zoom call.
Yeah, we haven't even met the wife yet. So when they come home, it's the first time they're here. But we're working on a special project right now for them, and it's going to be a waterfall feature in the back. Currently, it looks a little bit like a pile of rocks that got dumped out of a dump truck. So Monday, I'm going to be doing a ton of landscaping to fix that. So when all of you see on season 4 the water feature, yeah, just know that I lost a little sleep over that water feature.
Like as in last night.
Yeah, as in last night.
But you're still here.
We're still here. we filmed a reveal yesterday. Yeah, we filmed a reveal yesterday. And we filmed a super fun reveal last Friday. Can I give them a clue about what that one's about? Sure. So we filmed a special where we renovated a 12-room boutique hotel on the Gulf of Mexico, just south of Clearwater. It is going to be so much fun. I can't wait for you to see it. I may or may not have gotten severely injured during the show, but
But you're here.
you can just say I have a good eye for design. There's your clue of how I got hurt.
Okay, there you go.
So we've been listening to a lot. Obviously, your experiences, how you started, where you are now. Does anyone have any questions in regards to? There we go. There's the hands. I'm going to step
snap.
down and I'm going to go get some questions. All right, we're going to start right here.
Oh, she's standing up.
Hey, she's front row.
I'm being polite. Thank you for your show. Thank you for the novel idea of building from the ground up. So I have a 2-part question. When your clients show you the property where they want to build, Florida being the flood zone capital of the world, do you take that into consideration when you're building up as far as height? And my second question is a personal question. I have a chimney in my home. We never use the chimney. Would there be a return if I decided to sell the house in the future, in the near future, to just seal it up, condemn the chimney?
People, to answer that, I don't know. I feel like there is a good amount of clientele base that I think like the charm and the aesthetic of like a fireplace, even if it's not a functioning fireplace. And the reason I say that is because we've been looking at properties like in Savannah, like old, like I really want like a really old building that I can renovate. And half of them have fireplaces. They don't technically work, but it's just like that focal feature in the room. Oh, so I mean, I don't know. I think I would keep it.
Yeah, I mean, if it works, I don't know if I would spend the money to get rid of it. But if it looks good, you might, whitewash. Is it brick? What is it? Stone?
Just maybe give it a refresh.
Yeah. You can lime wash it. I mean, you can do a lot of things. If it's already there, I wouldn't spend the money to get rid of it. So yeah. And then as far as the elevation of the house, the same waterfall house I was telling you about, we had to elevate that on a stem wall 6.5 feet to get it out of a flood zone. The highest we've gone is 14 feet, season 1. But yeah, we do have to take into consideration flood zones. And we talk to our clients about, hey, this is going to be a little bit more money because you have to elevate.
Elevate that budget.
Elevate the budget and the house, yeah.
There's a lot of great materials out there where you can do a different facade on it.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
We have another question here.
Thank you for your show. Really enjoy it. And I love the surprise when you surprise your daughter with the pool that she wanted. Yeah. My question is, how do you pick your clients, or how do your clients get on the show?
Oh, sure.
They just got to wear really cool tie-dye shirts. No, that's a good question. So a lot of HGTV shows have a casting process where they cast it. Like, we don't like doing that. We don't do that. These are all genuine clients that we work with. Season 1 was tough because nobody knew who we were. But now people reach out to us, say, hey, how do we be a part of this? Unfortunately, we only film and build in like a 45-minute radius of Tampa. There's just so much work there. But maybe we can make a trip down to South Florida.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Little spin-off special or something.
We're going to have everyone line up to sign up for that. I have a question right over here.
Thank you. I've not seen the show, but I will watch season 4.
Oh, yay!
You've convinced
I
me.
appreciate that.
You've convinced me. So,
Oh, go sports.
so I'm going to bulldoze the house that I have now, which I'm very fearful of doing, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to build a new house. I'm going to build about 4,000 square foot from a 1 level. I'm in basically 2 levels. Is there any truth to the fact that I take the number of feet times a certain cost to figure out what my budget's going to be?
Oof, that's a hard one. No, he's meaning, so basically trying to figure out what it's going to cost you, right?
Right.
Like cost per square foot. That is a really tricky one because a lot of times it's never going to be that exact number. Normally what I'll do, because there's a lot of costs like impact fees, things like that aren't actually the house itself. But right now we're seeing an average of about $250 to $300 per square foot. But that's like pretty nice finishes. You know, you can probably save money if you don't go high end on, you know, certain things. But it's a little
Yeah, so that's the first question everyone always asks us. First they say, are you guys married in real life or just on the show?
Yeah, somebody actually asked me that.
Somebody actually asks us that, so sometimes both. But it's like asking, you know, do you play golf or basketball or anything? But like basketball shoes, you can get basketball shoes for $50 or $500. You can play basketball in both of them, but it's a little bit different. Same thing with golf, you know, different levels of golf clubs. So it's almost impossible to give a precise square footage amount because it all depends on what your finishes are going to be. But yeah, that sounds like an awesome project you guys are going to do. So,
What would be your first step towards that project?
bulldoze the house or?
No, just in general, or how to hire the right contractor. What question should he ask?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, whatever contract you're looking at, definitely go walk through some of their builds. Don't just see what's on their website. Walk their builds. Ask as many questions as you can. And yeah, ask for referrals, as many as you can, and really, price them out against each other. Don't always go with the cheapest. Don't always go with the most expensive. I kind of middle of the road is kind of where a good spot to be.
We have another question here.
Hi. Does every person that you build a house for, are they on your show, or do you build houses for people that are not on your show?
Yeah, we do a lot of stuff not on the show. So this season 4 is 12 episodes, so that's 12 builds, but we work with a lot of clients outside the show. And then we also have personal investments. We do some spec houses. In fact, this awful picture that I'm sunburned is inside one of our spec houses that we built personally.
and 2 parts of that answer. But yeah, our company's called Dirt 2 Design. So Dirt, the number 2 in design. So if anybody's ever interested in reaching out, like Brian said, we do a lot of projects outside of the show. Some of these houses that we're working on now, there's no way we could do in 100 days. So not every project is a perfect fit for the timeline for the show.
Yeah, I saw you on your phone number for you guys on the internet. So you're gonna build me a house one day, but I don't want to be on TV when you do it.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, we can still hang out.
All right, we have a question here.
Hi. You already answered my question that you only built in Tampa, right?
Yep.
I have a lot in Cape Coral. Will you be able to come and do it in Cape Coral?
Cape Coral?
Yeah. 2 hours from Tampa.
Only 2 hours. You know, part of the reason, though, honestly, is, and I think we might expand, but right now, with our schedules, we have to be on site we have to be able to get to a project if we get a phone call from, you know, an inspector or something like that. And with my daughter being a teenager now, these next few years are going to be critical to keep an eye on her. So I think that eventually we might expand a little bit out, but right now for life, it kind of has to be within our neighborhood.
Plus, hey, we're Bucks fans. You're not going to convince me to be a Dolphins fan. I see your Dolphin shirt. I see your Dolphin shirt. I thought y'all were going to steal Tom Brady from us, but he is moving down here. Y'all seen the house Brady's building? Ooh. Oh, I want to talk about sports. Sorry.
That's
I already
a sensitive
ripped on the
subject.
Rangers fan.
You took my Tom Brady. The original Tom Brady. I have a question here.
First of all, I love your show. I watch HGTV all the time. That's the only station I practically watch. I love Brian's rapport with his dad. It really pulls on my heartstrings.
Yeah.
And Mika, do you speak Spanish?
Un poquito. Hey, when she yells at me, yes.
Oh, I do know all the bad words. That's terrible. You know, it's funny enough, I just picked up my mom from the airport 2 days ago. She lives in Puerto Rico, but she comes every 3 months and comes down, hangs out for a month. I'm not as fluent as I would like to be. Okay. And both of my parents are very shy, and they don't like being on camera.
If you saw the reveal of our house, Mika's mom was on camera, but she's fibbing a little bit. We went to Puerto Rico a couple years ago, and she was with her family. As soon as she gets around her family, she speaks Spanish very well, and Jade and I sit and look at each other like this. Are they talking about us? Probably.
Well, my question is about bathroom designs. What trends are you seeing, and so you can suggest something, because we're in the process of renovating our bathrooms.
Yeah, we just did a reveal yesterday, and I mean, she wants to do it at our house, but it's a slab for the wall, slab for, basically, grout is out, is what Mika says. But
the homeowner, like I said, hashtag grout is out. And honestly, I do understand, because you think about maintenance. So, you just put one big slab on there. It looked beautiful, and it's so easy to keep clean.
I'm going to put someone on the spot really quick. I want to know what it's like to work with Mika and Brian.
I was like, wait.
I'm Mark with Lawson Windows and Doors out of Medley, Florida. Oh, they were a real pleasure to work with, very professional. And like they say, they're like they are here. They're like that in person on the show. They're very real people, but a real pleasure to work with, very professional. We had some issues early on because we went through COVID. We had some supply chain issues everybody was going through, and they were very patient. We had some tight times, but they were very good to work with. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
I had to put him on the spot.
I'll give you the $50 later that I promised you.
There you go.
I'm just kidding.
I have one more question here.
Hey, we're also 2 more big fans of your show.
Oh, thank you very much.
Congrats on Rock the Block. Totally crushed it.
Oh,
Love the
man.
bowling alley. So that was
thank
awesome.
you.
And the pergola. She loved the pergola.
Oh, we love the pergola.
You got raw.
We did, right? Oh, God, he's having a flashback.
So, not building from the ground up, but question, do you do any type of remote consulting by chance for interior?
We do. I actually have, so as part of Dirt to Design, I have some people on my team that help, because especially when we're in filming season, it's like nuts for us. So if you reach out, we have designers, and they can do virtual, or they can come out and, manage the whole project for you. Yep.
All right, I have another question here.
Hi, my name is Ashley. This question's for Mika.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you, did interior design fall into your laps, or were you intentional with becoming an interior designer? The reason I ask is because right now I'm in a season of life where I have to take care of babies. but I really would love, my dream would be to become an interior designer. So what things can I do to, get onto that path as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think for me, honestly, I started more on the real estate side. And then after a couple years of doing all kinds of transactions, I really fell in love with just helping like new construction. Like Brian said, the renovation thing wasn't really ideal for me. But I think with interior design, there's a lot of resources available online. I don't feel like you have to necessarily have, there's interior design and there's interior decorators. So yes, there's different levels.
Can you define the difference?
So if you are an interior decorator, you can go in, you can select all the finishes, put together, the entire look of the room. But where you do need a little bit more professional aspect is if you're coming in and you're trying to remove walls and you're changing a structural, think of it as like if you need a permit, you probably need an interior designer, like if you're actually reshaping a space. But man, follow your dreams. I think it's something that people are always growing and learning more, especially HGTV is a great platform to give people ideas, but a lot of us don't know where to start, so it's great to get into that field. And congratulations.
And I have a question here.
Mika, since you say you're into real estate, okay, I'm sorry. I love both of you all. I watch your show, love it. But since you say you're into real estate, do you all help your clients purchase land before you build their home?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we definitely have. So some of the episodes, it will be where we start from the very beginning with them and we find the dirt lot, we find the location. We have had, and more frequently, I think, now that the show's becoming popular, some people just reach out and they have land, they just didn't know where to start or what the first steps should be. But no, we absolutely can help find, vacant lot. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've got a cool story in season 4 coming up where the family, the mom and dad, bought this huge piece of property, and their dream was to bring their kids back and for them to build their houses. So now the son is all grown up, and now he's building on the family property. Unfortunately, the mom passed away last year, but her favorite show was 100 Day Dream Home on HGTV. So it's going to be such a sentimental episode, and I'm so glad we're part of their journey. And it's cool to see that. But yeah, land comes in many different ways, whether it's gifted from family or we help them find it. But yeah, we help them with the whole process. Like she said, from dirt to design.
We have a question here.
Hello, Mika and Brian. Hi. I love your show.
Thank you.
And I want a quick question. Do you see any relief coming in supplies?
In supplies?
Supplies.
We already have, yeah. Obviously during COVID, Mark will tell you, windows, lumber, even just getting concrete was really hard. It has gotten a lot better as far as timelines go. So like I said, we used to order, up the last 2 years, we've been ordering everything way, way early, but now it's getting better. So yeah, I do see it getting better, but that's also kind of a good and bad, because that also means that construction is slowing down a little bit. But as far as getting materials, you can get them quicker because there's not so much. But sometimes I think when you build too quick and too many at the same time, it's not necessarily a good thing. So I think slow and steady race there.
We have a question over here. And then soon after, we're going to be able to line up over here to be able to take pictures with both Brian and Mika.
Yes. Christmas cards.
Absolutely.
They saved the best for last. No, I'm just kidding.
Ah, there she is.
Just kidding. So just a quick question. You talked about the trend in the bathroom, right? So no grout. But what about in the kitchen? Are we still staying with whites? We see a lot of white going on. Are we thinking about maybe darks coming back? What are we thinking?
Whites. I hate to say it. We got a white kitchen. You saw our house. No, because I know what I install. White kitchens are kind of dying away. You'll agree with me. Natural woods are coming back.
Oh, okay. I'm making sure.
Like organic woods. Organic woods, not like old school mom and dad wood, but organic woods.
You're a mess.
Any other trend? What about like materials in the sense of like metals for the handles and different?
Oh, mixed metals are always awesome. Trying to think if we're doing anything like crazy off the wall this season that we haven't seen before. Color splash, bringing color and not being afraid to wallpaper. You already know. Wallpaper's got options for sure.
We got some crazy wallpaper.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we all went through a lot. We learned a lot about you, what you do, you know, your knowledge, the steps.
Y'all are
Is there
awesome.
anything you want to leave us with?
Man, just thank you. I think it's crazy to just like, we pinch ourselves because this journey started right about 5 years ago. So to come to this and see how many people are, you know, supporting us and showing us love, and that's keeping us on the air. So thank you.
And Brian,
I mean, this whole thing started with a 3.5-minute sizzle reel. That's kind of how the whole journey starts, and then they pitch it to the network. Yeah, we shot it with a cell phone, and then it goes to a pilot episode, and then you cross your fingers, you hope people watch, and then after the pilot episode, they greenlight it. And yeah, we're just so blessed to still be doing what we love with the one we love for 4 seasons. And yeah, I'll give one little hint here for those of you who like to rock the block. How should I put it? How would you like to see an all-star version of that where all the winners battle it out? I'm just planting a seed.
I don't know if I can go through that process again.
It was tough. That was a tough process.
It's a maybe. It's a maybe.
well, I can't thank you both enough for being here. Jade, I know that it was all because of you. You brought them. Yes. She is security. So, exactly. So I want to thank all of you for being here. I hope you're enjoying the show. Go shop, find the trends, find the professionals, and start remodeling.
Nice meeting y'all.
So we're going to make a line right over where the step and repeat is, where everyone will have a chance to take a picture.